Okay. Okay, I'm trying to tag people who asked to be tagged, and then let me get Sam and Amar in here. Hi, Ashley. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna let some people get in here. I'm gonna try to get Sam and Amar on the camera. Let me see. So I know we got like a lot of new members in here, especially a lot of people who came to see this live specifically, which I'm so excited. Ashley, Alexis Badu. Okay. But anyway, I can't wait to bring them on. Like, y'all, these guys have taught me so much. I've learned so much from them. I'm trying to remember, for whatever reason, when I type in her name. One second, y'all. Hold on. Oh. But anyway, so they taught me so much, y'all. I come to them for dream interpretations all the time, and even like visions I be having and stuff like that. They help me a lot, and they're like, I'm excited to share them with y'all because they were a blessing to me. There we go. Hey, Sam. Okay, I'm trying to invite y'all on, or maybe send me a request, because when I type in your name, like, nobody's name's popping up, honestly. Yeah, it's not popping up. It's not saying y'all in here, but I see the comments. Okay, maybe. There we go. Ah. Loading, 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 loading. There it is. Hey,
Yeah.
family.
And
I'm so
love.
excited. Okay, y'all. So this is the Dreamlanders. This is Sam and Amar, the dynamic duo, y'all. Like, they're amazing. They're amazing. They've taught me so much, and I'm excited to share them with y'all. I really am. So, we're gonna hop into it by talking about basically like how you guys became the Dreamlander, what inspired you, how did you gain so much knowledge, on dreams, because it's so many different dreams. Like, how do we do
Well,
it?
I don't know where Amar's story starts with the dreams, but he is the Dreamlander. I'm Mrs. Dreamlander.
I'm the Dreamlander.
But like basically how this all came about in terms of us like offering this to the community. I um I started to remember my dreams around last. I'm someone that, and a lot of people can relate to this, but I'm
Mhm.
someone that hardly remembered my dreams, and if I did, it was like a tiny fragment.
Yes, yeah.
I made a couple of adjustments, and my dreams came like my dream recall was so vivid, so detailed. I could not believe it, and I realized, oh my gosh, like I've really been dreaming the whole time. I just didn't remember my dreams. It didn't feel like
Mhm.
I hadn't been dreaming. It felt like I just hadn't been remembering.
Right.
And when I started to share my dreams with Amar, I realized he had an amazing aptitude for understanding them. And when when I started, telling my friends about him, a dear friend of mine named Lizana started to go to him, and I thought it was just he just, I knew he was really good, but he knows,
Mhm.
you know what I mean. So for someone
Yeah,
he,
he does.
yeah,
Yes,
just
he
know
does.
it was like such a strong set of transmissions that she like like sent us cash. Like she's like, that was better than the therapy session.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's when we
yeah.
realized, I mean, it was just, and that's really how we realized that, you know, this is something that we can offer. And I just add my, or as an oracle reader, I just, you know,
Mhm.
I combine my aptitude for the oracle with his dreams. So it's like a dream oracle
Right.
reading. What's so
Right.
beautiful process is that, you know, once he reads the dream and I pull the oracle, it's like everything just aligns so perfectly.
Yes, yes. I know I've come to y'all numerous times, and it's so mind blowing, like how he hits it on the nail, and then like you just tie it up. Like I'm like, okay, like it just all comes together. Y'all collab so well, like y'all complement each other so perfectly, like it's crazy. So since we're talking about dreams, where do you think dreams come from, and do dreams really have meanings? Like, do all dreams really have meanings? Like.
Oh, peace and love to you, Alexis. And peace and love to the entire community here. You know, in my experience, that all dreams have meanings.
Mhm.
They may even be something that popped up because you engage in a movie a lot.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, where do they come from? Being the very first part of your question, dreams actually come from the creator himself. It's permitted there. But then it's subdivided because a lot of us have desires and
Mhm.
desires of that also. And sometimes these dreams that we have concerning our deep desires, they tell us whether we should engage or we should not engage. And there's a process for that.
Mhm.
But now there are dreams that come from this wherein an expectation is needed to be fulfilled of you.
Mhm.
And and this is where deep guidance comes also. So in every aspect of this life itself, there is guidance. But for me, it's very, very delicate dreams and unique to every individual. And it's weird because my actual attention to dreams came when I was very tender. And having an experience like dreaming that our house was burning on fire. I was standing
Mhm.
very, very detailed. And the very next day this occurred. Even
Right.
there was a trickle of confusion because where we ended up in the like there's this police station that we had to go to and all of that. The ambulance, the lights, it was a bit too bright in the dream itself. But all the
Mhm.
that was taking place, and this actually manifested itself one day later. Why was this sent to me? I was pretty tender, pretty young. I spoke of it, but no one actually paid attention to that subject. It manifested
Mhm.
itself. So now this
Right.
this brings uniqueness, because who
Mhm.
say that this dream that you're having cannot be manifested in truth? So
Mhm.
dreams dreams actually come from the future. Dreams come from the past. Dream comes from the present. Dream comes from
Yeah.
you. Dreams comes from your desires. Dreams comes from you. And but what is actually divine in the process, however, is that even though sometimes there may be troubled dreams or dreams that you travel inward,
Uh-huh.
there are how to say, there are causes for this. There are causes for this to be happening, and it's through the perspective of divinity. That it's divine that you're being warned. It's divine that that you're given future guidance. And sometimes it's easy to determine whether this will be very early or very or what do I say, in the near future or in the distant future.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so uh, every dream I have encountered carries meaning for the dreamer themselves. Sometimes it's a bit difficult because The voices that come from them, sometimes it's like a whisper. Some of the voices like whispers that actually needs to be tended to. But so the transmission is so is its frequency is so vibrant. There is a voice that comes from an individual dream, like like how to say, the voice that actually wants to be activated, the voice that actually that wants to be paid attention to, and this becomes really, really important for the person who is active within their dream life and pays attention to it, because dreams may have meaning. Dreams may mean so much to me, and a person may have an active dream life, but it means nothing to them. It's discarded.
Right. Yeah.
But what about a person who actually believes in a deep psychiatric or scientific process? Oh, that this is the only process that they actually decide to engage with, and dreams may mean a particular thing for them at that point, and it will stand there. So what dreams means for every individual in its uniqueness or is dependent upon that individual and their uniqueness.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So why don't some people dream? And if they're not dreaming, or like why don't we always remember them too? And what are things that we can do to remember them or improve to where, we're having vivid dreams and we can remember them and all of that? What are some things we can do to activate that?
If we actually stay within the perspective of divinity, most time on where there is beauty in this is when a person has a deep balance between what the reality and fantasy. So there's a deep balance within this person. So there's a complete type of rest. Because even though, for instance, for the initial question, how did Dreamlanders come about? Even though a person may have a dream that was extremely beautiful, they were in some place, they were flying, they were in some place, butterflies, honey, streams of honey, milk, something extremely beautiful. And then the initial assessment is, I've been to paradise. But upon the interpretation, you realize you only went to paradise because your earthly setting is chaotic, in similitude, or you might describe hell. So now the divine was giving you some form of alleviation in that. So but the idea of a person not being able to remember their dreams or not having dreams, it's not that they are not having dreams. It's a type of recall, and there are different different theories as to why this occurs. Some of those theories will be because of the stress, because of the time that you asleep. People who work at nights and sleep during the day, they may people who go to sleep high, people, so individuals, different instances to inhibit these dreams or slow the recollection, that recollection process. However, in my experience, I've met those who have not dreamt for years, and when there is a message there to penetrate the soul itself, it comes about very, very hovering. Very so there comes a time. Sometimes an individual doesn't pay attention to their dreams, or they intentionally does not want to dream. That can also happen.
Yeah, we had a reading with a sister recently, and I had an oracle reading and with her, and I think she had one dream question, but it was for someone else, and she asked, why am I not remembering my dreams? And at least lately, and what we realized with her is that there are just no messages for her, to come that way. Because what fascinates me is that, I know that I dream plenty. I know that I don't go to sleep and then wake up and nothing happened. I know things are happening, just that I come back with so little, but what that little is a lot. Been like a fragment of a dream, and really like write it down. I keep a dream journal. I mean, I can give you some tips for remembrance in a moment, but I realized that, you know, this is exactly what I needed to come back with, because if it was just everything, I personally wouldn't be able to process.
Yeah, yeah. And
It
it's
was
been a lot of times, like you said, with the dream journal, where you can start piecing things together. Like, I don't know, it's like it becomes a big story
yeah,
instead of like those little just bits and pieces and stuff.
yeah,
And
puzzle. It
it's
becomes,
some of those I wish I had paid attention to. Like,
yeah, write those fragments down, because we start realizing, oh man, I've been having the same dream in so many different ways, because
yeah, yeah. Oh
some,
yeah. Because
there's,
it's easy to get distracted in dreams too, I feel like because there's so much going on, you don't kind of stop to be like, what does this mean? Like,
and that's what
why is this happening?
I love about Amar's dream landings is the way that he distills what the dream, because the dreams have like a lot of fantastic things happening, but what he tries to really extract from it is what is the,
Mm-hmm.
like, what are you supposed to do?
Uh-huh.
You know, this dream is
Yeah.
trying something, especially, and we could talk about reoccurring dreams in a minute, but what is this dream really trying to say to you, so that you
Yeah.
can, your waking life, benefit from your dream life. And
Right.
that will come, the dream landing. I don't even know how you came up with that, but that idea of the hovering dream, and then like the idea is to land it, because that hovering dream is that dream
Yeah.
you had when you were 10. It's that dream that you had.
Yes, yes. I've
So
had dreams like that. Yeah. Yeah.
remember, that are like branded into your memory, because you know that there's a message in it for you, but you just haven't been able to decipher it, and it's just hovering,
Right.
hovering. So some
Right.
people come to us with dreams they had so long ago, it almost doesn't even apply anymore, you know, in the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And
But it's
it's
like those emotions stay with you. You're like, why? Like, what's going on? What was that? You know?
actually
Yeah.
mystifying and bewildering, and like, what was this? And then when the dream,
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful moment, because it's like,
Yes.
it's like the person's eyes change, and they just, we have children, pardon us.
No, y'all, ZV in the camera all the time.
Little, the oracle baby, dream baby.
But I
So
do want to backtrack because when he said like getting high and all, going to sleep high can interfere with you having your dreams, and that's true because I know like when I avidly smoke and then I take a break or something, it's like them dreams are like they come and they're wow, like
yeah, everybody,
yeah. So
everyone's so different, and that's the thing, and that's, you know,
yeah,
some
yeah,
smoke and they still dream vividly, and some people, but for
yeah.
me, I'm the same way. I love my cannabis, and when I made that adjustment, and I stopped, it was like, what? Like, my dreams were so detailed. So yeah, for a lot of people, it really does inhibit your dream recall, as does
Hmm.
like eating really late, eating like
Right, yeah.
bed can inhibit your dream recall. But also, just, you know, in terms of things that have helped me personally, I I have this beautiful crystal called red jasper.
Oh yeah.
This is really awesome for dream recall. Like, charge it up, put it under your pillow.
Hmm.
Amethyst is another great crystal for dream recall. But has been so, the times that I do actually remember to put this under my pillow, it works. Like, it
Hmm. Yeah.
works for
And
me.
even herbs, isn't it mugwort? Isn't that doesn't that help with dreaming and stuff?
This is what I've been told. I can't really attest to that personally, but some
Hmm.
people smoke mugwort. Some people make it into a tea. Some people use it
Yeah.
as oil. But I've heard from a lot of people that mugwort is really great for vivid dream recall
Yeah.
and the dreaming as well. Um, but, you know, something that I have found tried and true, and for people that I have consulted with, is programming your subconscious to remember your dreams by setting the intention before you go to sleep. So
Yeah. Yeah.
when you feel yourself lying down in bed, and you're kind of doing your slip off, you feel yourself slipping off
Yeah.
into a state,
Hmm.
you can say to yourself several times, I remember my dreams. I remember my
Yeah.
dreams. I
Hmm.
remember my dreams. You have a notebook by the bed with your pencil to show that you mean
Yeah.
business, that no matter
Yeah.
what you wake up with, whether it's a fragment or an epic adventure you're going,
Hmm.
that also continues to program your mind to remember.
Right.
You're basically coaxing it forth, right? You're like making the action
Right.
remember. Your
Manifesting that. Yeah.
mind responds to that, but you can, some people go as so far as to set their intentions for their dreams, like I want to fly in my dreams, or please give me,
Yeah.
please God give me guidance, through my.
And that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, you really sometimes you just have to ask. It's been times that I just asked and bam, like hadn't dreamed in a few days, and that night I'm like, okay, all right, I hear you.
We're so, but I think the most important factor is believing that you can ask and be responded to, and also just believing that you have the power to remember your dreams simply because this is what you desire, and setting that intention.
You know,
Okay, so oh no, go.
sorry. I was
No.
I was just going to add. I was just going to add one of the prescriptions that never fails, and but requires some more work. There's a particular type of awareness that this
Mhm.
every individual can become privy to. It may be a journey and of such, but this consciousness, to be able to be in a state of consciousness and being within that be, being within that framework of practice, opens up dimensions to all your realities and all your.
Mhm.
So within that, this very very major realm, this very very major place that maybe this defined as many things: the collective conscious, the collective unconscious, the singular conscious, the singular unconscious. Many names to the mental body has been given, but this actual inner being and this cosmological travel
Mhm.
individual to a place of understanding how dimensional they will really become.
Mhm.
A person wants to awaken any type of consciousness within themselves, and for permanence of that also, to ease their survival and trials in this realm through that process, or to fulfill all of their for any purpose within this limitlessness, an individual wants to facilitate, then one of these processes is to get within a practice that allows you sessions with yourself to come to consciousness and come to
Mhm.
self-awareness, self-realization, and this will open all the dimensions that at the, even during the day process, your understanding and you're very very aware.
Right.
It
Right.
gives
Right.
your, not only awaken them from their sleep.
Okay, so dream dictionaries. How do we feel about them?
I personally cannot denounce the work of anyone. I
Right, yeah.
personally cannot do that. However, I do not engage in dream dictionaries. Some of them may contradict each other, but this was the work of others. I have tried before to look into them and see if there was congruence within what my transmission was saying, and some of them
Mhm.
tend to have a general sense to one thing, like an owl is
Yeah.
a there's a bad sign to this. Um, a white horse, there's a good sign to this. So there is a
Right, yeah.
very very general, and we're in the context of the dream itself. There was similarities and congruence to
Right.
what the transmission that I was actually having, and sometimes they weren't. But
Right. It's hit or miss.
sometimes even though a person may have a dream, and within that decide to consult a dictionary, and from one archetype, and its symbolic meaning, or an example of a similar to that, and an interpretation may give some fulfillment, but at that time the uniqueness of the dream itself and that unique amount of guidance in the dream may not be displayed accurately.
Right, 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 right. That makes sense. It's unique to every person, you know. So how would I try to decipher my own dreams? Like, what are some things that I would focus on to kind of understand what a dream is saying if I'm a little confused about it?
Wow. I think that your a person present situation, sometimes it becomes really, really difficult. Why I would say that, we would see throughout history, even Vedic history itself, with auspicious and inauspicious dreams. You would see through biblical texts, you would see even the kings at that time needed someone with the ability to assist in these interpretations, or assist in these
Mhm.
readings, or give accuracy to exactly what this futuristic dream meant, or what does it mean
Mhm.
for the king, the kingdom, the army at hand, or possibly anything. So when we think about that, then an individual may be able, because of their present condition and present station, because there are dreams that come in opposites. You may be going through a lot of adversities in your waking moments, and there are dreams that will come in opposite, and they name them, they call them like dreams of contraposition. And so now you're dreaming that you're laughing, but you're dreaming that you're laughing in a time where you're in a very, very sad place. But the
Mhm.
context of the dream, or the person who has the ability to interpret this dream, will actually see the opposites of this laughing. But
Mhm.
the individual themselves, inside of the dream, they were laughing. They were probably experiencing also. You understand?
Mhm. Right.
And emotions of that. So a person could, maybe maybe some, as I was saying, from some example before, maybe from a dream dictionary also. But most times it's very, very wise to consult with someone who knows. The
Mhm. Yeah.
landing person who the person who actually lands this dream. I don't think that I actually created that name, Samantha, and they created that. In the beginning, they decided, because I was founded, yeah. I've been doing this for some time for family members or that, and knew something was up, but didn't actually decide to engage like this. And within that founding itself, I used some words like hovering dreams, landing the dream, and they changed
Mhm.
from dream oracle to dreamlanders, and
Yeah.
to the dreamlander itself. So that's how that actually came about. And the the idea of a person actually having a hovering dream, as opposed to maybe consulting a dictionary, or maybe possibly Google or so, and having some satisfaction. Sometimes when there's
Mhm.
no satisfaction, then
Right.
it actually becomes important to say, okay, hey, maybe we should consult someone of,
Right.
of knowledge. I would say this: there are individuals who have had dreams reoccurring for years, and and after interaction with me, um, they stopped having that reoccurring dream.
Mhm. Yeah.
It happened. There are people who weren't dreaming, and for some reason, after our conversation, they started recalling more and more of their dreams.
Mhm.
So the
Mhm.
idea of the gift of interpretation, or the gift of reading this dream, there's a spiritual there's a spiritual ascension to it, and this is known throughout, that the person who actually interprets this dream, and actually lands this hovering dream, there is a certain amount of manifestation to that also.
Mhm.
So this is how
Mhm.
delicate it becomes, you know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Okay. So where do you think nightmares come from? Like, why do we have nightmares? Like, you have good dreams and bad dreams. Is that just tied into the message, or?
as I said before, nightmares, we gotta do this with nightmares, like a nice big
Mhm.
spectrum, because nightmares could actually, first the word nightmare, mare, this is like this female horse, this,
Yeah.
this, but now they were able to actually, how to say, decipher, because it doesn't actually seem to come from English, maybe from Dutch or so, but we have this demon called Mara, who tormented Buddha through his dreams. So there's a, where the word actually comes from is one thing, but imagine a horse that is riding you at night. This is what is an actual nightmare, as opposed to a bad dream or a troubling dream. You would see in biblical terms, King Nebuchadnezzar. He had a very troubling dream to him. However, that was prophecy of the kingdoms that were going to conquer Babylon at that time and all of that. Daniel was the prophet at that time. So troubling dreams will also have messages. Sometimes bitter endings are disguises for new beginnings. What I would say, someone would be having a dream and say, this is a nightmare, but they dreamt of their spouse cheating on them. So they say this is a nightmare. Maybe they were in disgust. But nightmares are vivid dreams that individuals arise from the sleep itself, very ghost-like, troubled, not wanting to go. They have severe symptoms, quite troubling. And this may be related to traumas also. Some chakras may be releasing a particular type of something that needs to be dealt with, to be addressed, to cry, to someone. It still carries messages. So much so that there will be an individual who is experiencing a nightmare, and this is an external force. And different types of energies may be associated to this nightmare. So it still comes down to a particular type of diagnosis as to exactly what is happening in this process. You know, troubling. Many of us may have experienced nightmares before, and beads of perspiration, cold sweats. You know, maybe someone may dream that they are falling continuously and experiencing so much fear. An individual will be dreaming of their teeth falling out. You know, dreaming different things will constitute to a nightmare. To what would be classified as a nightmare, as opposed to a bad dream, a troubling dream, or a dream of disgust. So a person expression will say that was a nightmare. So much so an expression itself as opposed to an actual definitive diagnosis that this was a nightmare and what is constituted.
So when we say, okay, so a bad dream, I got that. So when you say nightmare, is that when we're talking about the sleep paralysis and stuff like that?
Well,
can that be a symptom of a nightmare? I guess is probably the better question.
Sleep paralysis may have some intersection with the emotions of a nightmare, because it's quite troubling. For once, if you try to imagine a person who experienced this, who is experiencing it now, you're conscious, but your body does not want to respond to your consciousness. You start returning very slowly. You start returning. For me, what I describe this as is a symptom. This may be quite far-fetched and may not have been mentioned before or have been mentioned before, but my experience says that sleep paralysis is a sign of an astral traveler, and their return process is a bit groggy. So now when consciousness returns, then the different vibrations and frequencies and embodiments of that individual returning is a bit groggy at that point. But it's quite a horrible experience for a lot of people. And we have psychiatrists that says what it says. But I'm saying one of the signs itself, alongside energies, because some people experience being held down. What some people experience in dimensional experience, where they know that they're in their room, their eyes are open, but the dream is still continuing. Again, there will be psychic for this, but this person has had an experience. The dream came, the dimensions intermingled, there was an intersection there, but that emotion expressed, you know, and the willingness to engage in that activity again and really have that smoothened out. Most of us, it's quite terrifying to even think about developing this, or what is possible.
I've heard that. I've heard people experiencing that a lot, actually.
It's true.
No, go.
Yeah, some individuals may not remember anything from the dream itself, not have any symptoms of any visions or so. Not some people up, and all they have is the smell that they smelled in the dream. That smell is in their room. You know? They have no symptoms at all, but they feel this weight, the deadness of their body. And then they feel they will, after some time they feel that return. It's quite
Mm-hmm.
it's quite how to say, a terrifying experience all in all.
Yeah, yeah. I believe it. So you when you said that it can be a sign of an astral traveler, I noticed I feel like a lot of people get astral traveling and lucid dreaming confused. Can you tell us what is the difference between lucid dreaming and what's the difference between astral traveling?
You know, with that limitlessness of the dream realm itself, that is also a particular type of travel. You know,
Okay.
so but it's one within, it's one within where you can change what you want. You can invite whom you want to. So it's a place.
You're talking about the lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming. It's a place.
Uh-huh.
You can fly if you want to, you know. But with astral traveling, there are deep symptoms. This person knows that they travel through a vacuum. It's like this person knows that they were sent up on a mission. This person
Yeah.
has becomes very, very, it becomes very, very real. It becomes very, very real in the sense that in the sense that whatever happened at whatever happened there, you knew that there was, you knew that this was a travel, not an inward travel,
Right.
not
Right.
not playing within the dream realm and flying around in the buildings and looking down, which is it has its beauty well within itself, you know, not being able to walk upon the water in the ocean itself, but
Mm-hmm.
most times it's missions that are fulfilled, and how to say, dimensions that are experienced, wherein there are other beings. They may not be human centric. You know, there's this view of our ancestors that the people in the sky were very, very spiritual. Today, we have this view that they are quite technological, that they have gadgets and so that are far superior to that we possess at this
Mm-hmm.
point. Human perception and actual reality of what is happening has its blur. But there is a difference, although it may seem as if that the same thing is happening. However, lucid dreaming within itself can can actually open up the realm of astral travel, open up
Okay.
position of astral travel. So there are different, there are different how to say, there are different facilities, there are different symptoms also to
Right.
diagnose correctly, as if one just lucid dreaming, or if a person is actually experiencing astral travel, you know.
Right. So I guess my next question would be, can anybody lucid dream and can anybody astral travel?
It goes back to something that I spoke of in the beginning, and this is actually bringing yourself to a particular type of awareness and a
Mm-hmm.
particular type of understanding, to having a level of consciousness. Then this becomes very, very easy to involve yourself with it, because it becomes very, very easy. So every person has the ability. Some people have engaged in this unknowingly, and some
Right.
people
Mm-hmm.
who actually want to do this may have to embark upon a journey. But it is quite possible. It is quite possible that every single individual has the ability to do this, because this is part of who you are.
Right.
I
Right.
I
That was
never
just beautiful.
it, it's part of our multidimensional nature to be able to do some of these things, and I never lucid dreamed before until I started to meditate. And when I first started meditating, I was on my grind. You know, I was doing transcendental meditation 20 minutes a day, twice a day. And
Mhm.
I hit it hard that summer. And that's when I began to lucid dream. And it's almost like the meditation creates a more of an awareness.
Mhm.
Take that awareness into your dream life. Because the moment it becomes a lucid dream is when the moment you realize you're dreaming. You know,
Yep. Exactly.
that
Yep.
bridge, it's that unification of the consciousness where, you know, you're sleeping and you know you're dreaming, you recognize you're dreaming, and then you can start
Right.
with the parameters of the dream.
Exactly. I know I personally started lucid dreaming very, very young, to the point that I couldn't even tell when I was dreaming and when I wasn't dreaming almost. I would do like little stupid things to see if I was dreaming or not. I don't know. It might sound silly, but that was something I really struggled with when I was a kid. I probably would have saved myself a lot of ass whoopings if I could figure out how to tell the difference.
But
But
what I get with astral travelers too is that a lot of people, some people learn to astral travel where they can do it at will, and then others can't control it.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
I've been in situations where I felt I couldn't control it. I'm like, and I think that's the worst. Like he said earlier, it can be very scary and traumatizing. Very yeah. And it'll get to the point sometimes where you don't want to sleep if it's that bad. You know, like I don't know. It's I hands out to what y'all do because
I I
woo.
I, I, would, I have experienced both lucid dreaming and that actual astral travel. And now the reason why I'm saying that that this is something different from lucid dreaming is because you experienced both of them. And this was
Mhm.
where you for one moment is for one it's 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 so much speed that you actually feel you can actually feel like your skin is biting out, like something it's biting away, like extreme cold, and there's so much colors, and then it's it's almost like a vacuum also. You'll be dipped into something, and you do not realize in the initial stages that there is a guide with you. And
Mm.
the human has a heart other beings does not carry. This realm carries a heart of consciousness, a heart of angelic abilities. It's not a heart it's not a heart that only entertains bestialic desires, but it's a heart that wants to know
blood
and pumps blood. The spiritual consciousness of the human being and its capabilities is quite limitless in comparison to what this avatar can do within this realm.
Mhm.
So that differentiation, you feel very nauseous. You feel very nauseous. Sometimes you're on an actual travel, and depending on where you are, you become colder, or your body starts reacting because there's still a type of communication there.
Mhm.
the sweating.
That star traveling, astral travel, and outer body experience is two entire different things also. So traveling, astral projection.
Mhm.
Sometimes we need to get these categories cleared up properly, because
Yeah. Oh yeah.
they're not the exact same. Because this astral travel can happen willingly, or it can happen naturally. You know,
Mhm.
this if I had kids wake up and say, "I saw myself sleeping last night,"
Mhm.
and the other night, the other one is say, "I was outside playing all night long, and I saw
Yeah.
myself." This is present outer body experience. There are a few categories that need distinguishing at times, but
Yeah.
at that time we can.
So I wanted to know, is it true that people can share dreams? Like I have a dream and you have a dream, we're two completely different locations, but the same thing happened. We both like, is that possible? Can people share dreams?
Uh, I have experienced that also through interaction, where
Mhm.
where where a mother and a daughter. But any family members.
We've had a few dreams like that. People come to
Mhm.
us where
Mhm.
they realize that where they warring couples, mothers and daughters, all kinds of
Mhm.
situations where
Yeah.
when they wake up and they're like, "Oh, you were in my dream. Oh, you're in my dream too. What happened? Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, wait, in my dream we're doing it. It maybe
Yeah.
details difference, but too many similarities to ignore.
Right.
Well,
Right. Right.
when we look into tantra or tantric culture, and we
Uh-huh.
look at you look at sexuality from an energetic standpoint, this is something that causes individuals within within that energy itself to have union. They have union. Sometimes they experience ecstatic feelings also on that in that realm and platform. So dream sharing, according to my experience, is very possible. And you have had it within families, you've had it within distant lovers. Like, I dreamt this and he dreamt the same thing. What is happening? We're meant to be for each other. Married women who were dreaming of Facebook Facebook companions and Facebook companions having a lot of energy interaction on that, but it depends on some level of connectivity. And sometimes this dream, the way that it's happening, is worthy of that couple, and deciphering also is worthy of that couple, and how to say, or that family, and the landing of that dream, because there is deep information there on how to proceed within the conflict itself, within the intentions that are present, within the sexuality, because it's happening there, and the desire is deep. So it may also manifest itself. People wants to satisfy their heart desire.
Yeah. Okay, so I've heard, I think it's Sam used the term dream walkers before. What is that? Is that like sharing dreams? Like I've seen people talk about it. Like it's a real, like, I don't know. People talk about dream walkers, like people who can
enter into
intentionally, like, I know how we said that people can share dreams, but like I've heard like there are dream walkers who can like, I guess, basically walk into your dream, basically, like.
Is dream interceptors. So we have had instances where there are jinns, spirits that hinder your dreams in ways. But now what you're talking about is a particular type of practice. What
Okay.
what we know is that this was and is very, very possible still. It depends on a particular type of practice. You will see in the shamanic world itself, you would see this being mentioned. But this is something very delicate. We need to understand the practice this person is practicing and the understanding they have of realms. This is dream walking. Some of them are time travelers also. They are time travelers. Some of them are galactic heroes. Your realm is a place that they need to actually pass through. They're unknown, or they may be a saving source, that superhero at that point in time. But now this person has to be very, very complex in his understanding of that realm, and be very, very how to say, very versed or very accomplished in realm traveling, time traveling, astral traveling, and a few qualifications to intercept like that. Because dreams can go into dreams. What do they call it? Is the Russian doll?
The Russian nesting doll.
The nest. What when it just wanted to.
Oh yeah. Where it's like small and then a bigger one, and I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
A person goes to sleep, and then they sleep out. They go to sleep in that dream and start dreaming in the dream, and then eventually becomes tired again and goes to sleep and starts dreaming. So there's a reawakening process that needs to happen. Is dream receptors. But now this is why this is one of the reasons. This is one of the reasons why it becomes important to understand why your dream comes into codes. There was a period where dreams did not come into codes, but because of this ability that the human being possesses, and the jinn or the spirit or the energies alike, to intercept dreams, the dreams remain within code. Only it is given to an individual to be able to read these codes properly. And over the passage of time, individuals have made documents of their life stories, of their understanding of dreams. We have psychologists and spiritual psychologists and different individuals with bachelors and PhDs, and our dear beloved Sigmund Freud and this Carl Jung, and more and more, and more. But the reason that dreams started coming into codes is because of dream walkers. So now
Mm.
that's one of the reasons dreams started coming into codes. And this is not something very modern. It's something
Yeah.
very where
Yeah.
it takes a lot of practice and it takes a lot of understanding of that realm and living in that realm also. So now there's a group of sleepers and they start practicing how to share dreams, how to enter into each other's dreams first. And there's a watchman and the watchers you would see in the book of Enoch speaks about a particular type of watchers. So there's script, there is history, there are fables, there are myths, there are Greek stories, there are Vedic to describe these interceptors or dream walkers that
Yeah.
you speak of. At first I thought she was actually addressing sleepwalking, but
Oh no.
now I understand what you're talking about.
Oh.
Very few people touch on such a subject, as far as I know.
I have wondered if it's possible to be, because we have this multidimensional nature, we have these parallel lives, we have selves that we don't even know about that have capabilities.
Yeah.
I wonder to what extent it's possible for someone to be a dream walker and not know that they're a dream walker. And I'm saying this in reference to my own self, because the way that you describe a dream walker, that's not me. This conscious me, I don't have all those known capabilities. But what I do know is that several people have told me that they have dreamed of me before they met me.
Mm-hmm.
People that we've had dream readings from looked at me and they're like, why is this sister so familiar? They
Yeah.
tell me that you came into my dreams, you came into a dream of mine before I met you. And I've heard this enough times to make me wonder what's really going on when I go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. What am I doing?
I'm quitting Dreamwalker. Is that possible?
Maybe if there was some other context or so, what you all actually believes is happening is highly possible. But now you're talking about futuristic dreaming, where the individual who is the dreamer itself was given.
Yeah.
So there are different, but as well as being this dream, but there is a deliberate there's a deliberate movement of dream walkers, and they may still exist in high and possibly low places. So we're talking about people who understand the need for fringe and the need for this type of science. Maybe some core hidden group by particular names may carry
Right.
out these experiments,
Mm-hmm.
because it can be financed as well, and there are others who are investigative enough. Plus, there is information. There's information that may not be mainstream. There are beliefs and there are involvements and in all different types of fringe sciences. So one of these deliberate actions can be to intercept your dreams. The amount of information is there, and this collective conscious platform is a place that all of us can visit and meet alike,
Right. Right.
because of our frequency being tampered with and um, our individual our individual distractions. And what is placed
Mm-hmm.
for us is a particular amount of time upon survival. Then a person doesn't actually have all that time to spend within this. But when a person has wealth beyond their lifespan, then they become investigative into many arenas. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. We see that in current times. We see it all around us.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if there's anything that the human being is capable of, or if something is possible, there are people experiment.
Oh yeah. We some nosy things.
Yeah, I mean, we're
Very nosy.
very mysterious beings. I think we're very mysterious in our capabilities and our
Oh
divinity.
yeah, I feel like there's so much that like it's to the point where people wouldn't even probably believe that we are capable of, and they just don't know. Like I've met some pretty interesting people who are legit, and I'm like, wow, like
when
it's crazy.
when imagine when this king or this king has a very troubling dream, or has this dream that is hovering, and apply that to a man of business or prominence or prestige, and he, he has a lot of wealth to actually facilitate that also, and he becomes
Right.
interested like that. I'm just using that as an analogy, um, but to what is actually happening, because this dream is very real, and it shapes a pattern within the collective conscious waking patterns also. This is, you know, that it's something, it's something that a lot of people might find very, very fascinating as to how this is possible and how that is possible. But
Yeah.
now in the achievement for immortality within this avatar to stop decaying matter is one of those experiments that is being facilitated. It's far from our minds, because we gotta survive. We
Yeah.
gotta be on that wheel. We gotta be driven. We gotta. So that is one of those things.
Yeah. That's intense. But I appreciate you guys. I'm glad we got to drop some gems. I learned a lot. As always, always I'm learning from you guys.
Thank you so much for inviting us onto your platform to talk about this subject that I just love that dreams are a part of our human experience, that
Yes.
it's
And we could probably talk about dreams for hours more. Like it's just so much to it. It's so much to it.
there really is, and
That's
so
why
many.
what you guys do so impressive because
Well, we have a dream group for anyone that's listening. It's called
Oh
Dreamlanders,
yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
it's a beautiful ongoing archive. I love archive. I love this act of putting something down, recording what happens to us, and
Yes. Yes.
on this
And it's a
group.
very like safe and sacred space. Like it's like everyone helps everybody and we're trying to just understand. I don't know, it's beautiful. I love the group. It's actually in the link in the live and it's also you can get to it from our group too. I'm pretty sure when you first go to my group, you guys are at the very top of the page. So
Oh,
y'all check that out. Yeah, and get your dream interpretations. Go to them, get a dream interpretation because I promise you, you're gonna be so mind blown, mind blown every time.
away every time too when the dream lands. It's like that's what it is, because some of these
Oh
dreams
yeah,
are
I always walk away from you guys with like a sense of peace. Like it makes things. It's like you guys help me put the puzzles together. I have the pieces, but you guys help me to put them together and how it applies to me and things like that. I always walk away with a sense of peace when I talk to you guys. So
thank
I'm
you.
y'all's number one fan. I'm like everybody. Go here. Okay.
So when some people want to actually stay dreaming because their dreams are so beautiful, there are others who do not want to go to sleep because their dreams are quite
That
troubling.
yeah,
And
yeah, very.
it all encompasses the need for a particular type of guidance. With me,
Mhm.
that energy interaction draws a lot of information of what an individual may not be addressing, and
Oh
possibly
yeah.
how they should address that situation. We're all in need of guidance. We're all in need of directions. And the divinity is that we have a tool. So, all inactive dreamers, there are plausible ways to engage in trying to activate your dreams. And
Mhm.
this would enable you to actually be in a space of fulfillment,
Right, right, right.
despite the context or quantity or limitations of the dream. Whether it's a fragment, whether it's very full, whether it's 4 pages. People come to me with dreams in chapters, and it all adds up. You know,
Mhm.
one of
Mhm.
the things I would like to say before I actually go is reoccurring dreams. Was one of
Yes.
the should actually pay attention to.
Absolutely.
These recurring dreams have deep messages in it and deep guidance, and it also has a sense of urgency in it that this needs to be attended to now. This is
Mhm.
just like that that alarm button that is singing off continuously, continually.
Right.
So the understanding of recurring dreams is to actually pay attention to that. And my experience, how awesome, may the divine presence actually continue to give me the ability, because there are countless of individuals who have had their recurring dreams stop after having them landed.
Oh, yeah,
And that have you
me. Right here. You gotta call me out. No, just playing.
so Alexis, it's so beautiful that you actually invited us here to be able to spread some of this. As you said, we can go on for hours and hours and hours. Say peace and love to you in every single language, and the tidiest greetings that spread upon the earth. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Namaste.
I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you so much for coming and blessing us with your presence.
Pleasure, Alexis. Thank you so much. Love.